There is no such thing as phases that people have in life. There are layers of maturity that people have, but this idea of phases is something that social media and the culture today has really pushed. Oh, I'm going through this phase. Oh, I'm going through that phase. And it's really not true. You can assign it in your mind mentally to make yourself feel better and to absolve yourself from any responsibility to say that you're going through a hoe phase, I'm going through a slut phase, I'm going through this type of phase. But the reality is there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a phase. You can't just say I went through a phase and I'm not this person anymore. That doesn't really make sense. If I was a murderer and I killed 5 people, I can't say I went through a killing phase. I was a murderer phase. Now I'm a different person. I'm still a murderer. I'm still a bad person. I'm still someone that committed those acts. So this might sound harsh, but every single thing that you do becomes part of who you are. And the past is very important for predicting the future. And the future is often a consequence of the past actions that you've taken. So the sooner that you realize that, hey, if I do this, then it's going to be a part of my personality, then the sooner you're going to grow as a person. And look, when I say the whole hoe face thing, the whole slut face thing, I'm not just talking about women, okay? I'm talking about guys. I think a lot of guys think that sleeping with a lot of women is a powerful thing. Like, we've also been brainwashed to think that men should just be completely condoned to sleep with whoever they want. Absolutely not. As a man, your duty is to be focused on your purpose. And a lot of guys are out here running around doing nothing but chasing tail. It's absolutely the lamest thing that you could do. Just spending your entire day trying to talk to a girl to sleep with her. It's absolutely a waste of time because you're not helping her. You're not bringing her any value. And you're not even helping yourself. You're wasting your time, your effort, your energy, your resources into chasing some kind of temporary satisfaction with this person that really isn't getting a genuine level of value from you. Because if that's all your life is, then you probably aren't bringing anything to the table. I'm just keeping it real. So when I say the hoe phase, when I say the slut phase, I mean for men and women. And that's just one aspect of it. Whether it's a drinking phase, whether it's you doing drugs, whether it's you partying, whether it's you staying up late at night and being unproductive, or watching a certain TV show or playing video games, whatever that phase is for you, get out of it. Phases are not necessarily good. It's really an addictive behavior. It's an obsession with some kind of activity that's bringing you a high level of dopamine in a very short-term manner that you've become very, very used to. That's all it is. And usually it's done to cover up some kind of pain, some kind of trauma, some insecurity that you have, some lack of who you are as a person. So I think the bigger thing that you need to do when you're going through this phase, or when you catch yourself going through a consistency of unproductive behavior, you need to grab yourself and let yourself know, like, look, I'm not doing something that's productive. I'm not doing something that's building me. If it's not adding to you as a person, if it's not building your future family, your legacy, why are you doing it? What is the point? And some of you might look at this and say, oh, you look at the world in a very transactional sense. I mean, yeah, you do things for something. You give to somebody because it either makes you feel good or you get something from it. That's just really what it is. Human beings are not altruistic. And I know this hurts to hear a lot of people. We don't do something that is completely beneficial for someone else and is not beneficial to us whatsoever. I give to charity because it makes me feel good. Really, I do. It's selfish. It's not because I'm this amazingly nice person that just wants to help people. It's because helping people makes me happy. Helping people gives me dopamine. Helping people makes me feel better as a person. I feel more complete as a person. I feel like I'm completing my purpose. I feel like I'm leaving the world in a better place. So if I'm going to sit here and tell you that, oh, donating charity, it's really just out of the goodness of my heart, I'm lying. I do it because it's selfish. Everything that you do is done to improve your genetic output, your genetic lottery. If you read the book by Richard Dawkins called The Selfish Gene, I think it's a wonderful book. It talks about how every mammalian species out there lacks altruism. We do something for a mutualistic benefit. Sometimes it's parasitic, right? Sometimes we do something and we actually lose, or sometimes we're doing something and it actually hurts somebody else, but it's done to our benefit. Ideally, everything is done to benefit us. But many of us act emotionally. That action and emotion is actually what prevents us from being successful in actually bettering ourselves as people. So my advice to everyone out there, stop going through the phases. Everybody has a level of maturity, right? And a level of maturation, which I'll circle back on. An 8-year-old is not going to really sit down with you and have a serious conversation about retirement and investments. Like, this is not naturally what's going to happen, right? They're going to like the cars, they're going to like playing video games, and then when they're 13, they're going to care about being popular and who's cool and who's not. And then when they're 16, they're going to care about, the girls in their class or the guys in their class. It's just what it is. We all have levels. I mean, when my guys come into the financial business, the first thing they care about is the cars. Then they care about the watches, then they care about the houses, and so on and so forth. It's only until they have all these things that they care about, retirement and investments and all these other things. But the first thing is the cars. Like, the cars are always the first thing that people care about whenever they make a little bit of money. They want to drive a nice car. Something I've seen across the board. And so, yes, I could go tell my young insurance guys, and this is what I used to do in the past, don't buy the car. Don't buy the house. Don't buy the watches. Let's invest your money. Let's be smart about it. Right? Let's do the right things. But they always go ahead and do what they want to do because that temptation is always there. But it's got to be, there's a very slippery slope here. It has to be something that's productive. It has to be something that's almost like a conduit to understanding, a portal for them to grow as a person. See, when they get the car and they realize it's not worth it anymore and it's not going to make them happy, and they get the watch and it's really not going to tell the time any better, and they get the penthouse and they realize like this is not what makes them happy, they start to understand that money is a resource and it can be used in a way to better your life or to even hurt you. So then they learn that these things don't actually bring them a long-term sense of happiness, and it gets very old and it's get very boring very fast. And then only do they really understand that this is the way I have to use it. And I was the same way. When I first started making money, I bought cars. Then I was the watch guy. Not really too much. I wasn't so big into that. Then I was looking at real estate, but I actually skipped the whole real estate part and went straight into investing. And I had mentors that kind of coached me out of that, and I learned from it. And, there is a certain level of mentorship that can get you out of that mindset very early on, and I try to provide that. But these phases, these temporary obsessions that you have that bring you some happiness, they're not earned, right? The cars, the watches, they're earned monetarily. Like, you have to make the money to get that stuff. You can do whatever you want when you have the money. But the rest of this stuff is really just you throwing yourself away. It's throwing yourself into a unregulated discipline that is unproductive for you and that is oftentimes very detrimental to your psychology, to your health, to your body, and to everything that you're trying to become. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope this episode gave you a little bit of insight on how to stay away from phases in life. And if you know somebody that's going through a phase in their life, pull them out of it, snap them out of it. Share this video with them, share this episode with them, and maybe just talk to them and say, hey, look, you don't have to do this. You don't have to hurt yourself in this way. Guys, if you ever want to stay on top of all of our videos, hit that bell notification on YouTube, subscribe to all of our major podcasting platforms, follow me on social media, and thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day here with me. If you ever want one-on-one coaching, the link is in the bio. And until next time, guys, Sumi out.